complicated stuff, we can always talk over geometry and the shape of the Earth.
Well, geometrically, how was I able to see that? Makes no sense. I'm on a
Like
sphere.
I'm sure people would love to hear how the 24-hour sun works on your flat plane.
I don't have a fucking model, you see, and I do not care. You see, I don't want to discuss the science of it. There's no
Right,
hard
but
equations here. I want because all the only relations we have is observations from a fixed point on Earth, or you can do a moving point and record the gearbox that's running above, and then we can say, hey, are we moving? Are we rotating? Or are they rotating? Cool. We can fight about that later. But I promise you, all our data is going to be the same of where this celestial object was and what angle. Boom. All that is going to be correct from me and you. Because we're just looking up recording it. We're just going to fight about motion, right? Or as it was from the beginning. Well, who's moving? Because we're all seeing this. So are we moving or are the stars moving? And I'm
I
pretty
don't
fair
even
here.
care about moving.
I'll give you the.
I'm talking just about
Basic.
the shape of the ground that we navigate, we measure, we do everything around this ground. So I cannot accept when someone tells me I don't want to know the shape of the Earth and I don't use it. Because you use it.
I definitely don't use a sphere. I don't. Like, there's no. Whenever I have to level a foundation, I don't level it spherically to match the curvature because it's too small. Right?
No,
the differential element that I'm working with is way too small according to the curvature, so I can always neglect it.
Right.
So it's like in practicality, we all neglect it.
Let me give you a small example. You turn your phone on, okay? Your phone must be between three antennas, okay? To locate you specifically and triangulate you on top of this Earth, so you will receive service and the provider will know who you are. This is how GSM network works. It cannot work otherwise unless we know where we are. So you use the globe all the time, even if you are not aware of that.
No, that's cool. I'm sure I'm using radio frequencies that are being emitted out due to most of them are panel antennas, and you can look up the model of the antenna and the propagation shape of the propagation of the waves. And this is exactly because I know the guy that builds the towers, actually one of them. So it's like for AT&T and T-Mobile. So I know exactly how they build it. They're like, none of that shit is involved.
Okay.
You might say it's involved in the mathematics for mapping where you're at or whatever. We can debate there.
What matters?
But it's definitely not an equipment.
What matters in my example is the distance of you to 3 points, not 2 points, 3 points, because you're on top of a ball. Okay, and those distances are real distances, and therefore, since we can locate anyone or anything in the three-dimensional space that we live in, then we know the three-dimensional space that we live in, and we are not on top of a flat plane, which we cannot know the distances. This was my claim.
Are you mapping like the topography of Earth with your cell phone and your GPS data, or your cell tower data?
You know how there is a protocol that is called IP7?
No, it's out of my wheelhouse.
IP. So there is a communication protocol, okay, for the GSM network, which the way it is built, it must know your location and triangulate you between 3 points. And unless it knows your real location, it cannot provide you a service. It doesn't matter right now that the antennas, how they work or how they found you. What matters is they really know in an error of margin of a few meters where you are. Okay, and if we take two examples and we locate those three antennas on top of another flat plane, we would receive different distances. And therefore, I can say, because I used to look at the code that is relevant with those type of communication, you can only be in one place on top of one shape for this to work. But any example, even if you want to drive somewhere, you use the knowledge of the maps of the globe. If you didn't, you wouldn't reach where you want to drive. Stuff like that.
I heard that story before. I'm aware. But so I want to go back to this data that you're receiving from the cell phone. So you get this XYZ, right? Plot, or what do you get? Yeah.
It depends, but you can represent it via spherical coordinates, which is the radius and two angles, or you can do XYZ. But
I can transform between. It's fine. But so when you map all that, aren't you mapping the topography of the Earth? As your elevation changes with your cell phone and all that? Let's say I'm just going to use this data.
You're describing a globe, so you can provide a service on a globe.
Okay, what if? Okay, but let's say if I choose to draw it not on a spherical path, if I draw this information, if I plot it on an XY plot, what would I
So
get?
I wouldn't know
Just
what to do with the minus value. I wouldn't know what to do with the minus value because we have, right, east to west, south to north, okay, from the center, and we have a minus value for the coordinates. We got them on minus, which means the south.
So if you're minus, positive
like
north,
it could
east,
it
positive.
could work. It could work if it was half a ball, okay? But since I have a minus value, which is below the equator, I don't know how to otherwise translate this information. Like, I cannot fake.
I see.
Because each point...
The information is XYZ, right?
But each point has only one-to-one value in reality. Like, I cannot create a point or let's say 2 points on a flat plane which represent a place that doesn't exist. It's not like I should better do this explanation with a pic
graphics?
Or something, but yeah.
Yeah, I know. Like you said you wanted simple stuff, but you see how none of it is never simple. It's like, yeah, you do.
Well, can I just chime in? I don't think he means XYZ when he said 3 point, because between three cell towers, you'll get the ping time. So if you get a ping of, say, 40, 40, and 40, you know you're dead center of those three node points. So that's your ping time. That's not XYZ three-dimensional astronavigation. Cell towers is, what is it, a Euclidean triangle, I guess, or something, but it's ping time to the tower. And if it's, say, 40, 10, 10, well, you know it's a long way from one tower, but very close to the other two, who are probably very close. Yeah.
Right. So you would solve for
So
the
by the-
leg that's 10 milliseconds, and knowing the speed, whatever, you can figure out the distance from the tower based on
What-
being.
Yeah. of
What
course,
I
Is that how
mean,
they do it?
what
That's
I
what I'm
mean-
Okay,
thinking.
gotcha.
the,
Thank you, sir. Actually, okay.
Yeah,
So-
it was a translation thing.
Let's go
I
back,
kind
yeah.
of get it.
eventually you will get a latitude and a longitude, and when you have a value of minus, it can only go to a globe. This is what I'm trying to say.
But you're just below the equator, right? To the minus.
And I need
No.
a
Because so if you got curvature obstruction between you and the tower, does your cell phone still receive signal? Because we absolutely know it's not satellites. Get out of here. Like, no, it's from the cell tower, of course.
if your phone works, if your phone works, you
bouncing or
must
something, right?
you must be between 3 points. Otherwise, no. At least.
Right. At least, yeah. So that okay, yeah. So how would you map the curvature ever if when you're below the curve? It's interesting. I'm just working it out in my head. I'm walking out. I should shut my mouth. Probably. So if I got a tower, so I can't. So if I got 3 towers on the shore, I gotta have towers in the ocean in order for me to have that like signal. No, then I would not be able to.
All satellites. It depends. Some give
Forget
it full
satellites.
satellite.
Nah, don't complicate things for me now. I'm not worried about orbital mechanics. We can all work this out because you got towers tied by fiber optics and all that, like tied tower to tower across the ocean by fiber optic, and off we go, right? So it's like okay, there's no satellites involved. I know that for a fact. Yeah, that's just bullshit. Maybe at some point the tower will take it to some satellite, beam it, like some dish, beam it up to a satellite for communications that we don't use, whatever. But yeah, we need towers. See, I don't want so the minus value, like, nah. So if I'm at the same location, let's say between 3 towers, and I dig a hole straight down, a couple of miles, you're still gonna know that. Are you gonna know my elevation?
In our system, we use 2 numbers to describe any location on the Earth. And
XY, right? Longitude, latitude, yeah? Or no?
no, it is an angle.
What is it? Oh, so it's in polar coordinates? It's the radius from the center and the angles. Polar coordinates, yeah. If you want to call it spherical, whatever, polar. I can't watch your stream. I don't have internet. I'm sorry. I only have voice capability right now.
it's a problem to visualize it without.
I know it's not a problem. I know. I need to visualize it.
Like we go to the center. Let's imagine the center of the ball, and you have minus 90 and 90 degrees to describe the 180 when it comes to east and west, but you also put a line over it and you have same 0 and 90 top and bottom. Which we only would do because we live on a ball. There, like we didn't need longitude if we didn't live on a ball.
I mean, it's XY, longitude, latitude, but I know you're trying to explain something else.
It's not
White
XY,
line.
not XY.
It's curved XY. Yes, it's curved XY. It's a grid though. Like each one is like a circle. You know, it's not a line. But on the map, it's XY. And you're plotting charts, XY. Or polar. No problem. You can convert. Absolutely. You can convert between two.
If we lived on a flat plane, X and Y was good enough, and let's say Z for the height. But because it's a ball with 360 degrees, we choose the system of between minus 90 degrees to 0, which is the center of the Earth, and 90 degrees to the other side. And therefore, we can describe with one value of two numbers any location on the Earth. It doesn't matter what height or where you are. It wouldn't work otherwise. That's my evidence.
Okay. I'll look into that. I'll try. It's very good. But did you account for length contraction between the towers? Yeah, let me fuck with you now. Let's get real. Bust out the equation.
I heard about this theory, but no.
Of course not.
No.
Of course you didn't. Of course not. So there you go. You're gonna. This is why I take.
Because it's not relevant. Because
I know it's not
this
relevant.
Is
but I have to bring it in. I have to bring it in. Why not? Because I don't like it.
But this is horrible misuse of Lorentz contraction.
I hate. Why? It's great use of Lorentz contraction. Great. Did you account for the shrinkage in between the towers? Let's go in.
You don't account for shrinking.
I know because the towers,
expanding.
The instrument shrunk, right? So the instrument itself, the tower has shrunk. Don't worry about it. As you're moving through time, have no fear. I got you. Einstein's here.
Right, but also interesting point about that. If we go over the equator, distance should expand, should be bigger, but they are not. They are the same.
What, did your ruler get bigger or something? How are you measuring distance? With
No,
light?
think about it. If you draw a flat plane, right, and you go from the center to the edge, and you cross the equator, the distance from the center of the disk should grow.
I don't know. Okay. I think you're making a fatal mistake. All right. So if you go on dateandtime.com, see that beautiful square Mercator and how they model the sun? That is the model I work with until proven otherwise. Okay. Do not ask me about the sun, how it works. I will always say I've got no fucking idea, and I don't think it just magically appears. But this is what I model Earth as. Now the center disk, spinny stuff, I've got no idea what you speak of, sir. No idea. When you model the path, I model it this way.
Well,
because you can. It's up to you. Okay, mathematically, I go this way. XY, Mercator, simple shit.
Well, do you want the pitch about how a flat plane should work, or?
I mean, go for it.
Or you just don't of one of those that doesn't care how it should work?
I like models. Like, of course, you try to model what's in your head, but for me, so I always modeled when I speak of whatever. I always modeled Mercator because I'm practical. Now, of course, I can always speak about the flaws all day long, but I'm just like I just go to date.
No, like
talk about that one. You know that one.
Leave that alone, okay?
Well, the model there for visual representation, what you see when you go on the website.
Leave that alone. Let's just talk about what flat theory means.
Go for it.
And the thing is, we live on a 3D shape, okay? Flat
Obviously.
Earth by itself doesn't provide us enough information.
Just that's not, you already know that's not
agree?
what flat earthers mean. Nobody says it's a two-dimensional world, yeah.
Right, so you as a flat earther, you still need to pick any shape to make a claim.
Non-sphere. Non-sphere. How about that? Good shape.
Non-sphere is not a shape.
Correct. So I'm a non-sphere. I'm a globe Earth denier. If you want to put me in a correct camp, right? So you can classify me.
You
open-minded
want to call yourself
trapezoid or some shit. I could care less.
You want to call yourself a true Earth or something like that.
No, I like science, whatever it may be, cool, but globe earth denier for sure. But do I have to pick a shape? I don't know the shape. It's got topography.
Right, because ideally, when you talk with other people and you have some contradicting idea, you need to bring the idea. Because if you don't bring the idea, you both basically agree on the first idea, even if you don't say so.
I'm confused.
Let's say we are both talking about which president is best to get elected. And I say Trump, but you say non-Trump. And there is no non-Trump. You need to name the name of the specific guy to be in the category of discussing, of making the discussion.
Vote, yeah, for voting. Okay, I'm not voting. If that's the case.
No,
I get it.
my metaphor was that shape of the Earth is a scientific topic, and claiming there is no shape isn't a position. You need to.
I don't
pick a
know
name.
if it's a scientific actually subject. I'm not sure about that. I'm not so sure.
Okay, so in order to be in the discussion, again, my opinion, you need to understand what we as human beings see a scientific discussion. Do we have a knowledge about a certain thing and we developed a theory maybe, which is the globe? Then
I would say
it's
a
a
scientific
scientific topic.
discussion. No, I would say by definition, a scientific topic would have to establish the cause and effect relationship between something. So, and you got to have an experiment set up. Otherwise, it's a colloquial theory. So, it's a scientific theory. It has to be backed up by an experiment. Has to be. That is what mainstream regards as science. That's why shape and measurement is not a cause and effect relationship. And so, I don't think it's a
But
science question.
this is not the definition. This is not the definition. Anything
What is
that
a
we
scientific
observe,
theory? No, you can look it up from what a university defines a
anything that we
scientific theory as.
observe and collect knowledge about is a scientific topic.
Oh, I don't know if I agree. I don't know. Are you trying to establish the cause and effect relationship, or are you plotting data?
No, I don't need to establish the cause and effect
Because
for something
data or
to be a scientific topic.
data acquisition is a part of, if you're inquiring scientific something question, yeah, data acquisition is going to be part of it. But you can also acquire data without a scientific research in mind. I'm just going to plot times when I see rabbits outside or I see deer outside, okay, for no reason. But if I try to figure out something, perhaps it is a scientific quest now, right? So this, I might look in this data to establish cause and effect between something. Why the deer show up? You know, if that was in mind, sure, scientific quest. If I'm just plotting data, I'm plotting data.
Okay, so I don't know. What's the shape of my phone? Is a scientific question. Can you agree?
No, you take your ruler or whatever instrument and you start measuring, and you can determine that. And is it a
Right.
regular shape and
So-
irregular shape? Rocks have irregular shapes. I can't, like, if you tell
Who
me
cares?
what shape is that rock, it's irregular. Well, this is definition of shape.
I'm,
If you want a
as-
shape.
I'm
Scientific
asking you, if a shape of an object, any object, is a scientific matter, then the shape of the Earth is also a scientific matter.
I don't think it's a scientific matter, man. I kind of laid that out. So why I don't think so. But you may call it a scientific matter, sure.
So
you're using
so
instruments.
sadly, I can't. I need you to agree to this basic.
No, we
type
can
of
agree.
knowledge.
Actually, no, we can agree to disagree, and I want to hear what else you have to say. Actually, so I have no problem with disagreeing with you here. We don't have to stop the combo. Like, you know, it's okay. Like, man, why does something melt or whatever? All these are scientific questions. Why, to establish the cause and effect. But sail, and you're just plotting its path. And you're plotting its path. It's that. If he was part of a deeper quest, like I said, yeah, no, you can explain to me then why are you plotting your path or the path of that boat? Oh, you know, because X, Y, Z, I'm trying to figure out this and that. If there's a cause and effect relationship, then it's a scientific question. And to actually be a scientific theory, you know, it has to be backed by an experiment. Say, oh, well, maybe it's this. Maybe it's heat that caused water to boil. Let's experiment. Oh no, maybe it was pressure. That's the other guy, right? Yeah, maybe. They're both right. Yeah, they're both right. I like math, bro. I like science, man. Like, you guys just dive into the meat, man. Like,
I
guys,
don't
just
believe you.
You don't believe me?
I don't believe you.
Come on, we can start solving equations. You'll believe me then. You'll believe me then.
Do you know partial differential equations?
Ew, yeah, that's fine. I had to, you know, but I didn't finish that course. But I had to study for mechanical engineering. But you don't really need the differential equations. They are in thermo, but it's an algebraic expression. You just cancel it out.
Dude, I'm sorry, but I don't believe you studied mechanical engineering.
You can test it. Go ahead. Test the thermodynamics.
You are
What's
not
an
working
adiabatic
in
process?
mechanical engineering.
No,
You are not working as mechanical engineer.
No, I don't work as a mechanical engineer. Of course not. Study. No, not my.
Why?
not what
Of
I do for a
course
living.
not. Usually, if you
Oh,
go
so
to
you
study
do you
something,
want to work for a living? No, I don't want to work for a living, bro. I want to retire. Like, no. Thank you.
yeah, it makes sense. But like, I mean, usually people that study any engineering field go to work in engineering, and for me, it is pretty easy to understand that somebody is working in this field or not. I think for most people, when you say stuff like you like math but you don't like geometry and you cannot understand
What?
why
I never said I don't
describe
like
the
geometry.
Earth.
When did I ever say that?
Well,
I was trying to break down what you were saying. Like I said,
right.
visually,
So
what's
what's the shape of your phone?
It is seems to be rectangular prism.
What is
Correct.
rectangular prism?
You're gonna have to look that up now. I answered correctly. It's definitely not a rectangle.
No, I'm looking for a 3D shape name,
That is.
not a
That's why I
2D
said prism.
shape name.
Prism cannot be a 2D. That's why I said. What did I say? Rectangular prism, because it's a 3D shape. I
Rectangular
answered correctly.
prism.
Prism.
Okay. Not cubical.
That's a shape. No, it's not cube.
Why wouldn't you
Not all
say
sides. Not all sides
cubical?
are equal, because not all sides are equal length, but all angles are 90. So, if sides are not equal, and all of them have the 90-degree angle relationship, then it's a rectangular prism if it's 3-dimensional, or a rectangle if it's 2-dimensional. What's next? What's the shape of my shoe? That's shoe shape. 3-dimensional.
No, what's the shape of your room?
The shape of the room, this one is close to a cube, but not quite. Want further description? You want the dy of the dx?
No, I just want you to say cubical-like shape.
Yeah, sure. No, I'll give you dy over dx of the roof. I gotcha. Equals 4.
Okay, so would you say that you live in a 3-dimensional cubical space at least?
Of course. Yeah.
So
Sure.
at least the Earth isn't flat.
Absolutely. It's not 2-dimensional. Hell no. You're crazy.
Welcome to the globe.
No, it's not a ball.
I just rest my case.
Why?
My case.
It has to be a sphere? Okay, fine then. Rest your case.
I didn't say a sphere. I said at
The
least
globe.
a cubical
Whatever.
space.
Okay. Sure. Absolutely.
So you
don't even have to. You don't have to go
upgraded.
cubical too, but it could be like polar. You can use polar coordinates, right? Describe everything in cylindrical formats.
Okay, let's call it rectangular prism Earth.
Let's go. Sure.
At least.
Okay, man. Okay. Sure. I have no problem with that.
Okay, so from now you're not a flat earther.
I'm a rectangular prism earther. Sure. If you want me to speak to you on those terms, I agree. I have no problem.
Okay, now you go outside and you watch the sun and the moon, right? You agree that we have knowledge about the movement of the sun and the moon?
Yeah, you move over your head. Absolutely.
Right, and you agree that we have star systems that we can only see in the north and we can only see at the south, right?
Apparently. Yeah, I would have to say sure.
So combining this knowledge that you live in a 3-dimensional rectangular prism in which you look at the stars and you have 2 different star systems, which one rotates clockwise and the other one rotates counterclockwise, which is also known as star trails. You can only live on a sphere.
All I know is when I go to my Mercator simple 3-dimensional prism, cubic or rectangular prism, all the stars, I just move it from east to west, and it models it correctly on a celestial sphere. All the stars move from east to west.
Right, but if you go below the equator, they will go the other way around.
Yeah, the celestial sphere can go below it. I have no problem. There is below my so-called flat Earth or 3D prism Earth, as you want it. Yeah, there's
right,
below, for sure.
So if you have your room upside down, it means you get some type of shape, at least a sphere.
Oh, is it? Yeah, sure. If my room was upside down, It may be. That may be a correct solution. That doesn't mean it's the only solution, but it may be a correct solution.
Man,
The room is upside down. Yeah. World is a sphere.
man, who is listening? Did someone listen to
What?
this super convoluted? No, I'm checking because first time this convoluted explanation managed to get some type of an
What?
answer that I wanted. And
Okay. You gotta win.
also,
Congratulations.
I
You
see
gotta win.
people in the chat and they're not talking. So I want to ask if I'm alone here with you. Or, is someone listening? Is there mods? Someone?
Glad I'm entertaining you.
I just
Get some
managed
work
to turn
done.
a flat earther into rectangular prism guy.
Oh, you've never talked to me before, bro. Don't trip. It's okay. I like gravity. I like. Oh, we haven't talked about Newton, bro. I like Newton a lot. If you think you can disprove to me Newtonian mechanics, like you just fucked up.
So,
Because this is where you'll understand I did study mechanical engineering, and no sir, no sir.
yes,
see,
do
this is
you
where it's
want
like
to do?
you're misunderstanding. Yeah, let's go. What do you want?
Do you want to do
What would you like to solve for?
free body diagram on an
Yeah, sure.
airplane or
Okay.
something?
So what are you solving? Yeah, okay. Relative motion.
And you're going to draw gravity inside it and admit that the Earth is a
Absolutely.
sphere?
G down negative 9.81. Are you serious? If you have to, you also divide it out in an equation. Yeah, it's balanced. Yeah, G.
I think you're fucking with me. You're not a flat earther.
You know what? You're not the first globe earther to tell me that. How about that, dude? And this is kind of funny. I'm getting this a lot now. And what's his name? If Mordwand was here, he would tell you that. I'm the first flat, and I think only flat earther who knows that. I agree to mass attracting mass. It's just like, I don't know, bro. What's up? Yeah, hi.
Yeah, it's my
Not
buddy.
with you at all.
Mordwand.
Like yeah, then yeah, I don't know. He believes that I'm a flat earther. I've spoken to him about quantum mechanics and my fascination for quantum mechanics, and I'm still studying. And how it's like, damn, I should have absolutely studied that back in college, but it's okay. It's fine because I like it. It's like, when you discover another field, yeah, you don't regret what you studied, but you wish you would have studied that too. It's like, damn it. But it's okay. You can do it online, right? Free. Just watch the lecture.
Right, you
Read
can
the books,
go
you know?
back to college and take the physics classes and the math classes.
Yeah, today, man, with YouTube and all that, you can just watch the lectures, from all these universities and stuff, and just pick up same knowledge. You can go on like MIT's website. You can download the exams for the course. You can download the course curriculum, all of that. So you can self-study, and if you do want to verify it, yeah, you can go to school, pay the money. Because if you're doing it for self-studies like I'm doing, like just to actually like understand more about science, I don't need a degree in it, right? So that's a lot of money. Unless, hey, come to college for free sort of deal. Absolutely, yeah, sure. But if I gotta pay the money, it's like, ouch, dude, hurts. So if we had like in Europe, like in Germany, free education, yeah, I would totally sign up for quantum mechanics. Absolutely, 100%.
No, you can take like a course in Brilliant or something.
Oh yeah, no, I'd
Not in-
go above that. Brilliant, dude. That's surface level, man. Just watch Feynman's lectures and stuff like that. It's free. It's way thicker. No, they get into the math and stuff like that. Brilliant just touches on it. Like, it's basic. I don't know. Maybe now I haven't been on Brilliant in a long time, to be honest. But it's, some of it is like pretty basic. It's not super in depth. But maybe it is now. I don't know. I would have to go and check. I could be mistaken. Dude, I'm surprised you haven't talked about gravity this whole time. Like, no, why not? Like, let's get serious, man. What? I'm sorry.
You need to disagree with something. And as far as I see it, you agree with everything. So there is no contradiction.
Oh, if there's something that's not settled, I don't have to necessarily agree with it. It's okay. I can stay neutral. It's my right to reserve my judgment on something until I have further data. It's okay.
You're telling me bending and warping space-time isn't settled?
Well, that's what gravity is. He doesn't want to talk about it. It's been settled.
I don't talk about gravity. Also, I cannot. Can you see now if I do share screen and stuff?
No, I won't be able to for the rest of the day for sure.
Number one,
Just-
I am
in the
listening.
middle of nowhere.
And number two, there are a lot of people in this place that do not believe in Einstein's relativity. They refuse to acknowledge it. So while I won't say that a lot of them don't believe in Newtonian mechanics, but there's a lot of them that refuse to acknowledge Einstein's theory of relativity, including Lion, which is one of the mods. So if you feel debating that with him, feel free.
Dude, he's a global. I made him one.
Yeah, I heard
Did
it.
you hear the last hour?
So
That's
Dr.
our job.
Dr. Pepper, are you saying it's settled for sure that space and time are bending and warping to cause gravity wells? It's settled.
I think we never discussed that.
Hold on.
Torah, if you want to debate GR or any physics, can you accept it before the Earth is a globe?
No, he won't. Taurus
Because I can't.
Taurus
I
can be
cannot-
half trollish sometimes. It depends on how much in a LARPing mood he is, because he likes to LARP and pretend that he's stupid.
LARP is what? Oh.
He has like this role-playing board where he pretends to be a character, where he pretends to try to convince others that he actually is stupid, and he thinks that he can earn
Wait,
points.
are you a
The more people-
doctor? Are you a doctor? Are you a
pretend to be-
PhD?
The more people he can actually convince that he is stupid, the more points he wins. It's a live action role-playing
He
game that he plays.
Are you a doctor? Are you literally a PhD?